I'm Charles, Charles, middle initial S, Johnson, Johnsson, the third.
Give me 1 second. I want to view balance. Let's see. Just a little bit better. There we go. We are actually rolling though, and we're good.
Charles, how do you remember being introduced to Sigma Pi Phi fraternity and Kappa Boule in particular?
Well, I was first introduced to Sigma Pi Phi by a phone call from my father, who needed me to help him write a speech. And I said, okay, what's the speech about? He said, hypertension in African American males. I said, I don't know anything about that. And the reason that he was asking me to write it was not so much because I knew anything about the subject, but because he was nervous. Because he was about to go into his father's fraternity. And it seemed to him to be a great honor, and I've never seen anything make him nervous the way that made him nervous. And that's how I came to understand the Boule as something special. I became introduced to Kappa, I guess, when Tom Cole became president of West Virginia State. We had a going away party for him in Atlanta and invited the members of the Boule to that going away party, and that was my first introduction to the members of Kappa.
Sorry, just want to adjust. It's good.
Now that you're a member of Kappa Boule, what has that meant to you on a personal level?
I've had the opportunity to spend time with some very special people. I mean, this is a town. Atlanta's a special place because you're able, with the greatest of ease, to walk among giants. Every day you'll see Andrew Young. It wasn't hard to get to know Maynard Jackson, folks that are larger than life. But you're able to get to know them in Atlanta. But as a member of Kappa, you get to know them even better.
So I should go with that a little bit more?
Well, I got to spend time with Benjamin Mays in an intimate setting. I got to spend time with Hugh Gloster. And some of these folks that a lot of people know about only from books, I was able to have a personal perspective on.
You know, you have had the opportunity to serve the Boule both on a local and a national level. How do you see Kappa being received on those levels?
Kappa is a leader within the fraternity. It's one of the largest member Boules. It's one of the oldest member Boules, having been founded in 1920. But it's also one of the most active. I mean, our members are significant figures in this community. They're significant doers on their own accord. And when they get together to do things that impact the community, both in terms of the development of public policy and in terms of the social atmosphere of Atlanta.
Well, I'm going to ask you the same question I've asked just about everybody else. Out of all of these giants that you've had the opportunity to know, some still living, some now deceased, who are you especially pleased to have gotten to know?
actually not an easy question to answer. I mean, I mentioned Benjamin Mays as somebody that it was a real treat to spend time with and really appreciate his sense of humor and the way he thinks and the passion he has had about the great issues of the day. But I got to spend time on an intimate basis with Maynard Jackson, who is as much a larger-than-life figure as anyone could ever be. But I got to see him every month and spend time with him in an evening at a Boulé meeting every month and hear what was on his mind every month and bounce thoughts and issues and ideas back and forth with him every month. So those are just a couple. Andy Young came and spoke tonight. Andy Young is somebody that lots of folks would dream of having the opportunity to meet. And I meet with him every month. And that's a very special thing.
I have to tell you, Andy told on himself. He says he's not as good at getting to meetings as he should. We may get that edited out of this.
Okay. His presence is felt whether he's there physically or not.
Okay, you know, you are about to end your 2 years as Sire Archon this member Boulé. What do you feel will have marked your tenure as Kappa Sire Archon?
Well, we did miss a step in the last 2 years. We were where we needed to be, when we needed to be there, whether it was responding to a family, one of our member families in crisis because someone has passed on, whether it is responding to an issue of importance in the community. We didn't miss a step. We were there and on time, and no one could ever say that Kappa Boulé was absent without leave at any point during these last 2 years. But beyond that, this was a special time because this is our 90th year, and we tried to make it special. And so we've been celebrating our 90th anniversary all year. And one of the major ways we've done that has been by bringing in a new class of 14 new archons, some outstanding young men from the entire spectrum of professions, but who are leaders in their profession and who are going to be leaders in Kappa Boulé and who are going to take us into the next generation of leadership.
Do me a favor, ask that first question again, how he was introduced. Just because I've shifted, it's a butter shot.
Okay. Did you catch that, Charles?
No.
Okay. He wants you to go back and repeat how you were first introduced to Sigma Pi Phi fraternity and specifically to Kappa Boulé.
Okay. You want both?
Yes,
Okay.
because he says he's got a different angle now.
Okay. Years ago, I got a call from my father, who was still living. He's not living anymore. But he called from Ohio to tell me he needed me to help him write a speech. And I said, "What's the speech about?" He said, "It's about hypertension in African American males," a subject I didn't know anything about. So why me? Why do you want me to help you write a speech? Why do you need anybody to help you write a speech? And what I learned by drawing him out a little bit was that he knew everything that he needed to know about the subject. He was just nervous about the fact that he had to present a paper to this august group of men who were the local Boulé in his hometown. It was his father's fraternity, and he thought it was an honor to come into his father's fraternity. As I learned more about this organization, I came to learn later that it was the Boule, and that was my introduction to this organization as an organization of men that are highly respected, that are leaders in their field. I became acquainted with Kappa on the occasion of Tom Cole's election as president of West Virginia State University. We had a party to celebrate his elevation and to send him off. And the members of Kappa Boule joined us there, and so I had an opportunity to meet those archons at that time, and I understood then what distinguished gentlemen they were and what great folks they were to be with.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you if there's anything else that you would like to specifically share. So you won't go back later and say, gosh, I should have thought about, why didn't I say this?
Well, I want to thank all the members of Kappa, particularly the leadership, but all the members of Kappa, for the support they have shown me over my last 2 years in the leadership of this organization, and thank them as well just for their friendship and support.
Give it to me one more time. Sorry.
You
One
wanna
more time.
get the kitchen to shut up? Well, I want to thank the members of Kappa. I want to thank them for all of the friendship that I've felt from them over the last 27 years that I've been a member of Kappa. But particularly I want to thank them for the support and encouragement that they provided to me in leading this organization over the last 2 years, particularly the officers and the committee chairs who have made it a pleasure to serve this organization, because we've been effective over the last 2 years because we've been able to function as a team. We really did function as a team, and I'm appreciative.